Okay, as far as grading feedback goes, if we're losing points in the cyber cafe, it's usually for one of the following 5 reasons. Okay, so number one, we didn't do the cyber cafe. That's usually how it works. We don't do the cyber cafe, we don't get any points. Okay, so that's the first reason. Number two, we might have done some of the cyber cafe, but we neglected to do certain parts of it. So if, for example, there are 3 parts to the cyber cafe and we didn't do over the coffee cup number 3, well, we got docked some major points. Okay, so we got to do all 3 parts of the cyber cafe. Number 3, we might have done all 3 parts of the cyber cafe, but we neglected to do little sub parts in there. So go through each of the cyber cafes or each of the coffee talks and see, am I answering the A and B part of the question or the 1, 2, and 3 part of the question? There are like sub questions within the larger question, so let's make sure we answer all those. Okay, number 4, we didn't do our 2 reply posts. Okay, so we lost points. Or if we did do the 2 reply posts, we pretty much just agreed with what the poster said and we didn't add anything new to the conversation to really further the conversation, okay? And number 5, maybe our posts were riddled with grammatical and spelling errors, or there was just an overall sloppiness to our posts. Okay, we get graded a little bit on that, so go in there and clean it up, make it nice and neat, don't be a slob. Okay, you don't want to be a slob in any area of your life, okay? So keep track of these 5 things, and in addition to the rubric, which you can find in week 1 and 2 at the very bottom under the Cyber Cafe, when you scroll down, keep this video handy and just go through each of those 5 points and just do a trial and error. You can pretty much grade these yourselves. So what I'm really hoping that we'll work on is when we start describing, for example, like the big teachings of the religion or the philosophical topic, or applying these religions and or philosophical topics to, say, Bukowski's characters. A lot of the advice we're giving is just sort of very general. It's like any pop psychologist or anybody with a podcast can give this advice. So, for example, I would never guess that some of us read deeply into the chapter on Judaism and, tried to apply some of the teachings of Judaism to Bukowski's characters, right? Maybe we need to mention the covenant God made with Abraham, okay? And we have the formation of the Jewish people who would be a light to the nations, who would bring ethical monotheism to the nations, who would bring a universal morality, who would, encourage people to study Torah and to make the world basically into the Garden of Eden again. Okay, maybe Bukowski's characters would want to hear that, and if they're a part of that, that would give their lives meaning, because Bukowski's characters' lives are not very meaningful. There's really no structure to their lives. So maybe we can add some structure by talking about the covenant or the Mosaic law and the 613 commands, 10 of which are very, very famous, that God gave to Moses on Mount Sinai. Which parts of the Decalogue would you suggest Bukowski's characters follow? There are laws that apply to our relationship with God and our relationship to other human beings. Maybe some of the characters need to hear about certain parts of this. Okay, or we can talk about the prophets or the wisdom literature. Okay, Psalms, Proverbs, the book of Job, and so on, which deals with suffering, as Bukowski's characters suffer a lot. So show me that you've done some reading on Judaism and have watched the videos, okay? Because this is your chance to really show off your knowledge of Judaism and all the other religions that come down the line. So make it really count. Okay, I want to see key terms there: covenant, Torah, prophetic literature. Emphasizing compassion. Okay, wisdom literature. Insight for living. Not repeating the same mistakes over and over again. Otherwise, we're fools. The wisdom literature says, or the book of Job. Why do bad things happen to good people? Or some really good insights into suffering in the book of Job. Okay, and you can bring your own outside study into this, not just what we've assigned in our cyber cafe as far as the readings and the videos go, or my summary notes or my little commentaries. Always read outside too. I did that big time. I always bought more books that were on the syllabus when I was in undergraduate school, and especially in graduate school. Okay, don't hesitate to do your own outside study and bring that into our cyber cafe. Okay, so if that helps, reach out to me if you have any questions, and onward and upward, not only here but also in life. Over and out.